dude.
I think it's no surprise to anyone that I like TRACKMASTER, like, a lot. The obsession began when I was 4, and I just couldn't stop. I wanted more. My obsession with TRACKMASTER definitely defined me as a Thomas fan. However, the obsession slowly came to a halt as I got older, and Mattel decided to make the trains look cheaper and, like, that. I still collected Playrail, but I didn't really get a majority of those items until after I started this channel. It's become apparent to me that working on videos with these toys sparked my interest in TRACKMASTER and Playrail once more. But did I ever think I'd be buying modern Thomas merch from Mattel ever again? I'm gonna be honest, no. Earlier this year at the New York City Toy Fair, Mattel announced a brand new TRACKMASTER range that seemed to be a return to the CGI era.
Oh my god! Okay, it's happening! Everybody stay calm!
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Wait.
Everybody calm down!
At this event, they revealed a plethora of new toys, such as single releases of Duck and the freaking Flying Scotsman. They also revealed a set that included a station and a truck that could launch barrels to the top of the roof. I wasn't really interested in the set to begin with, I was mostly focused on the single releases. But 6 months flew by, I still haven't found them, and then the set appeared on Amazon for $70. Now you might be thinking,
Why would they do this?
oh, now hold on, let me explain myself, okay? I was very desperate to get these new toys, and the set was the only thing available on Amazon. And my only other option besides buying the set from Amazon was buying it from Toys R Us for $80.
What are they, out of their freaking minds?
Now that I've had this set in my possession for quite some time, I'm going to break down the pros and cons of this set, what I think about the new engine models, and what my hopes are for future sets down the line. So sit your butts down, grab a bowl of popcorn, because I'm about to talk about a children's toy. First things first, I want to talk about the box for a little bit before we dive into the actual set itself. I have to say, this box is actually very well designed. It gives you a sneak peek as to what the set looks like in its entirety, shows off the main gimmick of the set, being the barrel launcher truck, and shows off all the pieces that come with the set. Also, seeing the 80th anniversary logo on the box is just, it's nice, and seeing this old render of CGI Thomas, it's bringing back memories, honestly.
You're as beautiful as the day I lost you.
How you doing? While I was building the set, I came to the realization that this was the first set that I had built that used the TRACKMASTER Revolution track pieces. And I have to say, the tan brown track that I use in my videos, and the ones that I also grew up with, they're honestly better. Now, these new pieces are good in terms of their design, but when it comes to how these tracks connect to each other, it doesn't feel the same as the older ones. With the older track pieces, I had a sense of whether or not the track was properly connected due to the pegs at the end of each piece of the track, because it was visible. However, with these new ones, I can't tell because the pegs aren't visible. But that's just my opinion. Like, it's just when I'm pushing it in, I can't tell if the track is connected properly or if it's like flimsy. I can't tell. But that's just me. Anyway, after I had completed building the set, it was time to take Thomas out for a run. But there was just one problem with that.
What? It's just an ordinary crabby. Oh my goodness!
I don't know how someone can screw up assembling a toy this badly. I kid you not. But whoever assembled this toy did not know what the hell they were doing and just decided, hey, you know what? Let's drill an extra hole just to let the wheel rod slide into its proper place.
Now, I don't really know how this happened. This could have been like a flaw from Mattel's part or a flaw from Amazon's delivery system, but whoever did this, you deserve to be fired.
So after I had disassembled Thomas and taken the wheel out of its improper place with some pliers, I put the wheel back in its proper placement using a hammer. Soon enough, Thomas was fixed. Okay, I have a few things I want to say about this new Thomas. I have to say, props to the guy who is leading this new production team. You guys are knocking it out of the park. This Thomas model just looks amazing. It's like they actually grabbed the CGI model and like took it to a 3D printer and it printed it out perfectly. It's just so amazing. However, just because the model looks really good, especially for Mattel standards, there is one complaint that I have with this model. Yes, I'm aware of how the whistle isn't painted and the buffers behind Thomas aren't painted at all, but that's that's not really an issue with me.
I don't care.
One problem that I have with this model is the weathering on the side of Thomas. Now, I don't necessarily have a problem with it, but the problem comes from the fact that the Greatest Moments pack for Thomas in this new line also has the same weathering effect. The only noticeable difference between these two models is the different facial expressions they have. For the stock standard Thomas has a more confident, snarky looking face, while this one just has a stock standard smiling face. I think it would have been cool if this Thomas had no weathering effect like the stock standard Thomas. That would have been amazing. It would have encouraged those who aren't really interested in the set in the first place to want to buy the set because of the exclusive Thomas. But all in all, this model is still great. As a toy though, it doesn't really match the same level as Playrail on the other hand, where Playrail had more mobility to the toy because I could push it with my hand or allow the motor to just make it go on its own. But it's still a nice model to look at, honestly. This is like almost having a Bachmann Thomas model that doesn't cost like $150 on Amazon. I give it an 8 out of 10. As I've stated before, this model is amazing.
I love you.
But what about the set? Well, it ain't that bad. Okay, in all honesty, the set is not actual garbage, but there are aspects of the set that could have been improved on before the final product was finalized. One minor thing they could have done differently with the set is not having each piece of track a different color. This is more so a nitpick I have, but that's just because I feel like the different color for each track piece is a little bit redundant. It's almost like they think the 3-year-olds who are going to get this set are going to build it by themselves, when we know full well that they're just going to get their parents to put the set together for them. I'm just saying. Now, another critique that I have comes from the design of the set, and you're probably wondering,
Why are you complaining about the set? It's just a basic trade set. Why are you so ungrateful?
yeah, that's great, but there are certain things that kind of don't make sense, such as why are the buffers molded into the set and looking like they came from All Engines Go, and why is the tunnel a piece of felt? Now, I'm not saying they absolutely needed to make actual buffer pieces that were accurate to the CGI era or make an actual tunnel mold, but it would have been nice to have an actual tunnel instead of this fake tunnel that has a sharp angle turn that almost prevents Thomas from going through it. And lastly, one critique I have is with the set's gimmick. It's not really a bad gimmick, but it's kind of weird. Now, this set's gimmick involves Thomas pulling this truck that has a spring-loaded compartment on top of it, and you can store a barrel of either fish, apple, bananas, or mail? Why is mail in a barrel? Anyway, you load one of these barrels into this little compartment at the top of the truck, push the barrel in the compartment down, and while Thomas runs on the set, he'll run over this piece of track beside the station that has a little peg, which will trigger the truck to launch the barrel to the top of the roof. And then you play a little game of arcade Donkey Kong by letting this barrel roll down to shoot and into this little cargo storage area. A very basic gimmick. Obviously, this is a set made for children. But is it a bad gimmick? No, not at all. This set is a perfect example of what future sets need to do. Just make a basic train set, and if you need a gimmick with the set, just make it something simple like this. Just like what the older TrackMaster and Playrail sets used to do. For example, if they ever did Brandom docks in this new line, literally all you'd have to do is figure out a way to make Cranky operate. It could literally just be like how TrackMaster did, where it had controls for it on the side of the set, or it could be a remote control, or just you can just move it with your hand. Something plainly simple, and maybe have a little gimmick that could allow a boat to move around in like a little circle of track that looks like water to make the boat move around and carry goods. I know it seems like a crazy idea for a gimmick, but this is just an idea I had if they ever did Brandom docks. All in all, I think this set is a great start to this brand new line. This set is definitely a good buy if you want to use the station as like Vickerstown Station or a background building or any building, honestly. The station could be used for so many different things since it can be detached from the track. And on top of this Thomas model that's just so freaking good! The versatility that this set offers with its set design will allow you to make interesting layouts and location designs. In my opinion, you should definitely buy this set if you're using this for your layouts or just because you think it would look cool to display. I give this set a 7.5 out of 10. There are some aspects of it that I enjoy, and some aspects that I think can be improved on in future sets, but this is such a great way to start this new motorized line, and I can't wait to see what Mattel has in store for future sets.